Yep, we're going there. We're diving headfirst into a topic that's often brushed under the rug, swept into the corner, or met with uncomfortable silence. Because while some folks are worried about potholes and parking meters, black communities in certain American cities are dodging crime, profiling, and policies that treat melanin like a criminal offense. It's about facts. From racial profiling so common it feels like a subscription service, to police brutality that's somehow still under investigation. Some cities have earned a reputation for being too dangerous for black people to safely live, breathe, or even walk home in peace. We're talking about places where community safety is a myth, housing discrimination is baked into the zip code, and systemic racism comes gift-wrapped in local policy. Add in violent crime rates and a side of broken trust, and you've got a recipe for disaster that black residents know all too well. So if you're wondering which U.S. cities are too dangerous for black people in 2025, keep watching, because this list might confirm your suspicions or shock you to your core. Let's get into it. First up, we find ourselves in Chicago, a city known for its iconic skyline, deep dish pizza, and a heartbreaking tale of two cities. See, Chicago's got this ugly habit of sweeping its problems under the rug of its north side, leaving the south and west sides to grapple with the consequences. We're talking about a city where the disparity in crime rates between neighborhoods is so stark, it feels like stepping into a different dimension. On one hand, you've got gleaming skyscrapers and trendy cafes. On the other, you have blocks plagued by gun violence, underfunded schools struggling to keep their doors open, and job opportunities drying up faster than a raindrop in Death Valley. And let's not forget about the elephant in the room, the over-policing of black neighborhoods. A constant reminder that in some parts of Chicago, breathing while black can be misconstrued as a threat. It's a vicious cycle, fueled by systemic neglect and a lack of investment in communities that have been historically marginalized. Next, we head south to Memphis, Tennessee, a city where the soulful melodies of blues and rock and roll often clash with the harsh realities of violence and inequality. Memphis, a city steeped in musical history, unfortunately finds itself grappling with a different kind of tune, one of sorrow, fear, and outrage. The city's soaring violent crime rates, particularly in predominantly black neighborhoods, paint a grim picture of daily life under the constant threat of violence. The economic disparities in Memphis are like gaping wounds, dividing the city and leaving many black communities struggling to stay afloat. Gentrification, that double-edged sword, further exacerbates the problem, pushing longtime residents out of their homes and erasing the cultural fabric of historic black neighborhoods. That's the reality for many black residents in Memphis, a city grappling with its past and struggling to create a future where everyone feels safe and valued. Our journey takes us next to Detroit, a city that once roared with industrial might but now finds itself grappling with the ghosts of its past and the struggles of the present. Detroit, a city synonymous with American automotive innovation, now faces a different kind of crisis, one of economic collapse and social disintegration that has disproportionately impacted its black community. The decline of the auto industry left deep scars on Detroit, leading to widespread unemployment, poverty, and a sense of despair that permeates many black neighborhoods. The city's struggle to recover from this economic blow has been agonizingly slow, leaving many residents feeling left behind and forgotten. This is the stark reality for many black residents in Detroit, a city grappling with systemic issues that have created a cycle of poverty and violence that seems almost impossible to break free from. We arrive in Atlanta, a city often hailed as the Black Mecca of the South, a beacon of hope and opportunity. But even in a city celebrated for its black excellence, a darker reality lurks beneath the surface. Atlanta, a city brimming with entrepreneurial spirit and cultural vibrancy, grapples with a stark contradiction: the widening chasm of income inequality. While affluent neighborhoods thrive, many black communities find themselves trapped in a cycle of poverty, plagued by underfunded schools, limited job opportunities, and the constant threat of violence. Gentrification further tightens the noose, displacing longtime black residents and erasing the cultural heritage of historic neighborhoods. This is the reality for many black residents in Atlanta, where the dream of upward mobility often collides with the harsh reality of systemic barriers and deeply rooted inequalities. Our journey takes us to Baltimore, a city grappling with the weight of its history and the ongoing struggle for racial justice. Baltimore, a city with a rich cultural tapestry, finds itself entangled in a web of challenges, from rampant crime and deeply rooted poverty to a broken criminal justice system that seems to target its black residents. The death of Freddie Gray in police custody in 2015 exposed the raw wounds of police brutality and systemic racism that have plagued Baltimore for decades. The protests and unrest that followed were a stark reminder of the deep mistrust between law enforcement and the black community. Imagine living in a city where fear and suspicion cast a long shadow over your daily life, where encounters with law enforcement can escalate from routine to deadly in an instant. This is the reality for many black residents in Baltimore, a city desperately seeking healing and transformation, a city where the fight for justice and equality continues to echo through the streets. We arrive in St. Louis, a city etched in the annals of American history, forever marked by the iconic Gateway Arch and the deep scars of racial segregation. St. Louis, a city with a storied past, grapples with a present marked by stark inequalities and a persistent racial divide. The city's history of segregation and discrimination continues to cast a long shadow, shaping the lives of its black residents in profound ways. From disparities in education and healthcare to the lack of economic opportunities, black communities in St. Louis often find themselves on the margins, denied the resources and support needed to thrive. The legacy of segregation is evident in the city's starkly divided neighborhoods, a constant reminder of the systemic barriers that continue to impede progress. Imagine living in a city where your zip code determines your destiny, where access to quality education, healthcare, and even fresh produce is dictated by the color of your skin. This is the reality for many black residents in St. Louis, a city grappling with its past and striving to create a more just and equitable future. The struggle for equality is ongoing, and the scars of the past are still visible. Yet, there is hope and resilience in the community. St. Louis is a city that continues to fight for a better future for all its residents. Our journey takes us to Birmingham, Alabama, a city etched in the annals of the civil rights movement, forever linked to the struggle for racial equality. Birmingham, a city that once stood as a symbol of segregation and oppression, continues to grapple with the ghosts of its past and the challenges of its present. While Birmingham has made strides in addressing its history of racial injustice, the city still bears the scars of its past. Black communities in Birmingham continue to face disproportionate rates of poverty, unemployment, and violence, a stark reminder of the deep-seated systemic issues that persist. Imagine living in a city where the echoes of the past still resonate, where the fight for equality feels like an ongoing battle. This is the reality for many black residents in Birmingham, a city striving to reconcile its history with its present. A city determined to create a future where all its residents have an equal opportunity to thrive. We arrive in New Orleans, a city renowned for its vibrant culture, infectious music, and a spirit of resilience forged in the face of adversity. New Orleans, a city that pulsates with life, also grapples with the lingering effects of Hurricane Katrina and the deep-seated inequalities that continue to plague its black communities. The devastation wrought by Katrina exposed the city's vulnerabilities, laying bare the stark disparities that existed long before the storm surge. Black neighborhoods, often located in low-lying areas, bore the brunt of the hurricane's wrath, and the recovery process has been agonizingly slow and uneven. This is the reality for many black residents in New Orleans, a city fighting to heal from past wounds while striving to create a more equitable future for all its citizens. Our journey takes us to Cleveland, a city seeking to redefine itself amidst the challenges of economic decline and racial disparities. Cleveland, a city with a rich industrial past, now grapples with the loss of manufacturing jobs and the social and economic consequences that have followed. Black communities in Cleveland have been disproportionately impacted by these economic shifts, facing high rates of poverty, unemployment, and crime. The city's struggle to attract new industries and create job opportunities has left many residents feeling left behind and disillusioned. This is the reality for many black residents in Cleveland, a city yearning for change, a city where hope flickers amidst the challenges. Our final stop takes us to Milwaukee, a city grappling with the enduring legacy of segregation and the stark disparities that continue to divide its communities. Milwaukee, a city known for its brewing history and Midwestern charm, harbors a darker side, one marked by deep racial divisions and entrenched inequalities. The city's history of segregation and discriminatory housing policies has created a starkly divided landscape, where black communities often find themselves isolated and cut off from opportunities. The lack of access to quality education, healthcare, and economic opportunities has fueled a cycle of poverty and despair. This is the reality for many black residents in Milwaukee, a city wrestling with its past and striving to create a more just and equitable future for all its citizens. From the bustling streets of Chicago to the historic neighborhoods of New Orleans, these cities offer a glimpse into the complex realities faced by Black communities across the United States. These cities have their own unique challenges, but the common thread is the systemic issues that disproportionately affect Black communities. It's crucial to address these problems head-on and work towards creating safer, more equitable environments for everyone. The fight for safer cities is not just a matter of law enforcement, it's about investing in underserved communities, dismantling systemic racism, and creating opportunities that allow all residents to thrive. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Stay safe, stay informed, and let's continue the conversation.